All right, folks, we're back. UFC Fight Night, Tybura versus Spivac 2, their second fight. So, if you guys watched our last video with Sandhagen and Umar, I made 9 picks. We hit 8 out of 9. The only one we lost on was, I believe, Elvis Brenner. Joel Alvarez spanked that boy. And yeah, that was the only loss we had. So 8 out of 9, that is 89%. Not bad. I couldn't get 100, but that's the way it is, man. This is it's a tough thing to do, right? Making these picks sometimes, but you gotta do your homework and make sophisticated sports picks. That's why I like this so much more better than going to the casino and gambling, for example, because you go to the casino, you're playing those same odds all the time. With this, totally different, right? So Umar, man, he looked phenomenal. Man, he is extremely well-rounded. I did not think he was going to have such an easy time on the feet, man. He looked like he seemed like the better striker out of the two, too, which was very surprising. Now, that being said, Corey Sandhagen had better takedown defense than I expected him to, and even on the ground, his ability to get back to the feet was very impressive, especially, fighting a guy like Umar, who's a very strong grappler. Impressive. I can't wait to see him get the winner of Merab versus Sean O'Malley. And a lot of people think that he doesn't deserve it, man. He deserves it. He just beat Corey Sandhagen. He definitely deserves the title shot. That being said, I think Sean O'Malley is going to be the easier matchup for him, right? Because Umar can strike, and he can also take O'Malley down. Now, if he fights Merab's going to give him a hard time in the wrestling department. In my opinion, Merab Dvalishvili is the best wrestler in MMA right now. Not on paper, right? On paper, it's Henry Cejudo, right? Olympic gold medalist. Number 2 on paper, I'd say, is probably Bo Nickel. But I think Merab is, to be honest, I think Merab's the best wrestler in MMA. I'm going to go out and say that right there. He's insane. The guy, look what he did to Henry Cejudo, Olympic gold medalist, man. This guy he's insane. Picking up Henry over his head, slamming him, talking to Zuckerberg while he's got a front headlock. The guy's insane, Just hopefully he doesn't get clipped against O'Malley, because O'Malley hits hard, man. So let's get straight to the point, because this is not a great card. I'm not going to lie. If this card was in Abu Dhabi, would be a lot more stacked. And if you notice, the Abu Dhabi cards, they cater to the time of the people in Abu Dhabi. It's not like when they went to England, the fights were like 5 a.m. in England. It's crazy. But in Abu Dhabi, they'll cater to the sheikhs and the boys with the money. Clearly. So it is what it is. Marcin Tybura versus Sergey Spivac. So this is interesting because Marcin Tybura and Spivac, they've both been looking good. This is a rematch, 4 years in the making. So 4 years ago, Marcin Tybura won by unanimous decision. And, Tybura's been looking good, man. So he's got 2 losses in his last 6 fights. And those 2 losses, he had a unanimous decision loss to Volkov. No shame losing to Volkov. Very tough fight. And, he had that one bad loss to Tom Aspinall, who is, number 1 heavyweight, not named John Jones. And Sergey Spivac, on the other hand, has been looking good as well, man. Both these guys been looking phenomenal. So Sergey Spivac, he's coming off a loss to Cyril Gane. No shame losing to the best striker probably in the heavyweight division. But before that, he was on a 3-fight winning streak. I'm going to go with the underdog on this one. I know Tybura is getting a little older, 38 years of age, but I think he's the better fighter of the two, and I think he's going to be able to get this one done again. I think that rematch, it was 4 years ago. Not much has changed, to be honest. I believe Tybura should get it done again. Don't count me on that. I hate betting heavyweights. I'm not going to lie, because just anything can happen. Damon Jackson, on the other hand, he's got 2 losses in his last 5. His last fight, it was a split decision win over Alex Hernandez. Gotten viciously knocked out by Dan Ige. But before that, before the Dan Ige fight, he knocked out Pat Sabatini, which was a very big win. Now he's fighting Chepe Mariscal, who's on a roll himself. Nice little win streak, but he just hasn't fought the same level of competition as Damon Jackson. And the fact that Damon Jackson is plus 180, that's okay. I'll go with the big underdog on that one. I'll go with Danny Barlow. This one's interesting. The boy from Memphis, he hits hard too. Danny Barlow taking on Nikolai, the Kazakhstani. Danny Barlow hits hard, man. He looked really good his last few fights. That one on the Contender Series where he fought the other guy from Memphis, he absolutely destroyed him. And, you know, his last fight, is he fighting on a, yeah, I believe it is Memphis. And his last fight against Quinlan, he destroyed Josh Quinlan. And, you know, now he's fighting the boy from Kazakhstan. These boys from Kazakhstan are very good, don't get me wrong. He's got a little win streak going. But it's his first fight in the UFC, and now you're fighting Danny Barlow. I'm going with Danny Barlow all day on that one. I think he should be able to get it done. This one, Chris Gutierrez taking Kwang Lee. So Chris Gutierrez was first scheduled to fight Javid Basharat, the Basharat Bros. And I believe that fight got canceled. Now he's fighting a newcomer in Kwang Lee, his first fight in the UFC, and I got to go with Chris Gutierrez. The odds are not out for this fight, but I'm slightly leaning towards Chris Gutierrez. Significant experience advantage. If you see here, he's got 28 pro fights, and the other guy's only got 8. So that's 20 more professional fights, and a few of those are in the UFC. He's got some big wins. That one over Frankie Edgar really stands out for me. So I'll go with Chris Gutierrez on that one. I'll take Yusuf Zalal, huge favorite. That one there. And then the heavyweights, Carl Williams taking on Jonathan Deniz. This one could really go either way. I don't know with this one. This one could literally go either way. I'm sort of leaning towards Carl Williams on this one, but no, not confident in this pick at all. But if you guys need a place to BetUS, promo code Iceman. Let's make that money. This is just the appetizer. We got UFC, 305 coming up. That's the big one, right? We got Duplessis versus Adesanya. This is a great card. This is just the appetizer going into this one. So let's stack up that money, and then we're gonna go hard on that one. And I'm not even betting on this fight night. It's just not worth it. I'm not really feeling any of the fights. But I'm definitely feeling next week's, that's for sure. My boy Gamrot's on there. I wish he wasn't such a big favorite, but Tai Tuivasa's on there. Some good fights, man. I'm excited for next weekend. So make those picks, and let's stack that money for next week. Out.
BetUS, America's favorite sportsbook and casino. Live betting and racebook. We're celebrating 30 years with a historic offer. A 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits. Plus 10% gambler's insurance. Get started today. BetUS, where the game begins.